Hi, Scott Whitley here, and welcome to Slap Basics Lesson 9. In this lesson, I'm not going to show you any new patterns. If anybody tuned into Slap Basics Lesson 8, you're probably still having a good old work on the triplets run. What I want to do with this lesson is just basically give you a little bit of inspiration and a few ideas of ways you can take what I've shown you already in the previous lessons and make it so much more, make it more than just the patterns that you've learned. Now, what I'm talking about there is a couple of things. Firstly, if you take a slap pattern you already know, for example, slap pattern 1, which was in Slap Basics Lesson 2, if I remember correctly, sounds like this. Here we go. Okay. Now, what about if you just shifted where that sits in relation to the bar? Okay, so at the minute we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and beat 1 is on that slap at the beginning, okay? But how about we put beat 1 where the pull is, the first pull, that one, okay? That would give us a completely different sound. So what I'm talking about here is, just bear with me, he's playing the same bass line exactly, but just shifting where it sits in relation to the 1, 2, 3, 4 count, okay? So we're going to play the pull on beat 1. Let's see how that sounds. Okay? Has a completely different sound and vibe to the original bass line. But the funny thing is, it's exactly the same line. It's completely identical, okay? It's just, I've just shifted where beat 1 sits, okay? So, hopefully you understand what I'm saying. We're taking one pattern, just by keep shifting where beat 1 is, you can get a different line, okay? Now, all right, maybe to do that on the fly, on a gig, improvising at this stage might be a bit tricky. But it's something you can sit down and work out. You can just try, let's do another one. Right, the hammer on there, let's put that on beat 1, okay? Let's try that. Okay, again, you've got a completely different sound. It's the same bass line exactly, but we're putting beat 1, 2, 3, 4, there, okay? So that's the first idea I wanted to share with you, and it's something you can just play around with yourself. I mean, obviously, it doesn't just apply to lines that I've shown. Any line at all. Okay, and then the other thing is to take little segments of some of the bass lines and see if you can do different things with those. So, for example, Slap Basics lesson, Slap Pattern 2, can't remember which lesson it was, I think it was lesson 4, but it went like this. You can kind of turn that round a little bit, change it a little bit. Do you see what I'm getting at? You can take elements of lines that you already know and do something new with them. So let's try that. I'll show you Slap Pattern 2 exactly as it was in the lesson. And let's try and take, I'm going to try and take that pulling bit. Okay, so all I was doing there is kind of playing about with little elements of the bass line, rather than playing it start to finish as a pattern. He's just taking 2 or 3 beats or notes of that pattern and maybe repeating that or slightly changing the time, okay. And that's when you start to make these things your own, So hopefully, ideally, you learn some patterns like the ones I've shown you, and then make them your own, start to play around with them. And as I say, this is it's a slow process. It's something to do in practice at home, and it might mean slowing things right down to kind of 50 BPM even not having the metronome on while you just kind of work out what you're doing. But anyway, there's a little bit of an inspiration I hope for you. I'm going to come back with a new slap bass pattern for you in lesson 10. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments box below, or send me a message, or send me an email to scott@scott-whitley.com, or you can check out the website and all my contact details are on there. Have fun. See you in the next lesson. Cheers. Bye.